Welcome to another edition of Blind Grillin'. I'm Chris Peltz, and today we're going to be making a popular appetizer that you find in a lot of steakhouses. You may know it as a bloomin' onion or an onion blossom, but we're going to be doing it on the big green egg. So we've got our Vidalia onions, we've got our seasonings, we've got our egg wash. So stay tuned, this is going to be an awesome cook. So what we've got here is our 2 Vidalia onions, and what we're going to do is we're going to show you 2 ways to prepare your onions for making blossoms. Now we haven't peeled them yet, we'll get to that in just a minute before we slice the other one up. But I've got this one here, and I talked to some folks and they said that you can go on Amazon and you can buy these little gadgets that slice an onion to make it for the onion blossom. Well, I don't have one of those. I didn't go online and I didn't look for them. But what I do have is an apple core slicer, and that's what this is right here. And so what we've done is we've pulled up the center of that onion where the stem would be right up through the center core of the apple core, and we're going to try, and this onion is a little, hopefully it's not going to be too wide, but we don't want to go all the way through. Okay, make sure, feel around. That is an epic fail, folks. That's exactly
Dad, you
what that
broke
is.
It.
All right, folks, so things don't always go very well. Certainly not always as planned. This may have looked like what one of those onion blossom slicers looks like, but has an apple core. It didn't work too well. So we're going to end up doing both of them the same way with a knife. So I'm going to get rid of this. Woo, doggy. And we'll be right back to go ahead and slice these up. All right, so pull that off. We got a good peel off of that one. Set it down here. This one, you can see we cut the stem off. We leave where the root comes in, but we cut the stem to give it a flat spot just so it'll lay flat for when we slice it here in a few minutes. And in the meantime, we're going to take, I'm not the best onion peeler, but we're going to get her done anyway. Here we go. A little much, but we got it. Alright, so folks, we've got these onions peeled, and so they'll lay flat with that flat where we cut the stem off. And then basically what you want to do for the bloomin' onion, I mean, you can get online. What we're doing here is nothing you can't find taking place online. The only difference is really we're putting it in the smoker rather than frying it. We changed up to taste a little bit of the batter that we're going to be mixing up, but beyond that, I mean, it's a pretty simple recipe. But what we want to do now with this flat onion out of the way, you don't want to cut all the way up against that. You want it to be able to stay together. So you want to come down. I usually do a finger width and then start cutting in. And I kind of cut not only down but inward as well, kind of going in as I go down. And so what you want to do is basically a quarter turn, and we're going to do the same thing right on this side, in and down. Another quarter turn or so. I'm not the best at this by any means. And then down and in, and probably one more turn. And after you do that, I'll kind of show you, it'll begin to kind of open up as you kind of pull it. So that's, we've got it started right there. You can see that. But what you can also do now is, if you want them thinner, you can come back in and make smaller cuts to kind of thin that up just a little bit as well. But then we kind of pull this apart because we're going to get our batter all down in between all of this stuff as that kind of begins to flower out and open up, or blossom as they say. So didn't make my cut quite deep enough on that one. It takes a little bit of practice. So we're going to work on, in fact, I'll show you one more time. We'll work on pulling this one apart in just a minute. So there's that one. Let's get this onion here. Kind of do the same thing. This one's a little bit different shape too, so might work a little better, might not. We'll see. All right.
Do one more. Turn it just a little bit.
Yeah, I'll get to it in a minute. So what we'll do is we're going to work on opening this up, and then while we do that, and maybe slice them a little bit thinner because this one's a little bit bigger around, then we'll come back and we'll show you how to make the batter that we're going to put this in when we do. So we've got our onion opened up. This one opened up. This one's upside down. Started to have a piece fall off, but again, this takes some practice. I've only done a couple of these before, and thankfully, you know, I've got some help. My daughter is awesome at not only camera work, but cutting an onion blossom. It's amazing. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get our dry batter ready for when we begin to batter up these onions. This is breadcrumbs, just plain. If you want to do a seasoned breadcrumb, that's fine. We're actually going to season this up ourselves. So what we're doing here is almost 2 cups of breadcrumbs. All right, that's a 2-cup measuring cup, but I didn't quite fill it. So there is 2 cups of bread, just about 2 cups of breadcrumbs. Now, let me see. I got 1 teaspoon, and this is paprika. So what we're going to do, we're going to put 2 teaspoons of paprika in here. Actually, we're going to do 3. And this is a great thing about doing this. You do it to taste because, you know, for example, as I reach around here, this right here is crushed cayenne. Well, how hot do you want it? You know, what do you want to do with this? So we're going to do a teaspoon of cayenne. Okay. Now, let's see. I believe this is just some seasoned salt. You can use like Lowry's, or you know, if you're cooking a meat and you've got a seasoning that you want to, maybe you've got tri-tip or brisket going on, you got 441 South Fat Henry's, and you want to use it, you know, as a seasoning in this, go for it. Tie things together. You know, Monk McGuire's honeysuckle dust, or some of Lane's barbecue, Wassie's meat, steak seasoning, whatever it is. So we're going to do 2. Really reach down in there. 2 things of seasoned salt. And then this is garlic powder. We're going to do just about 2, about 1.5 there. Garlic powder. And then finally, we got some oregano. Alright, we're just going to, right find a little bit of oregano into here. And then we're just going to get it mixed up, blended in really well together. And that's our dry batter. That's what we're going to use. And so now we're getting ready for the egg wash and the batter. We're going to kind of double dip them, get them really nice and coated and covered and on all of those petals. And we're going to put this on a maple plank, maple wood plank. And we're going to stick it in the mini max at 350 degrees and let it go for about 45 to 50 minutes. So stay tuned. We'll be right back to do the egg wash and get these things. All right, folks. So we're getting ready to do our egg wash. We've got this bloomin' onion kind of holding it together. We're going to dip it down in our egg wash. Kind of roll it around and get a good, nice coat on there. Turn it over and upside down and all that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to grab kind of a handful of this. We're going to take and bring this over. Kind of roll it in there, pour some on top, because we want to get a really nice heavy coat of this. And of course, it's on the outside is pretty easy, but what you want to do is you want to make sure you kind of let it open up and get it down in between all of those petals. And down in there. And that egg wash helps keep it, hold it on there. And we can go ahead and dip it again even, in this egg wash. Roll it around a little bit more. Whoa. Be careful with that. Pour some on top and let it kind of fall down into all of those little nooks and crannies that it has got going on down in there. Kind of open it up. Get that down in there. All right. So, and we've got our maple wood plank right down here. We're just going to set that right on top of it. Then we're going to do our next one. So let's get it. Good wash happening. This one's kind of falling apart on me. But that's all right. Oops. Get a good coat. So we're going to finish getting this coated up. We'll get it on that maple wood plank, and we'll be back in just a few minutes to put it on. So folks, we've got the Flame Boss holding the Mini Max at 350 degrees. And so let's go ahead and open our baby up. Say ah. We're going to set this maple plank that we have let soak most of the day right in on our Mini Max. All right. Woo, that was hot. All right. Let's see if we got it. We got it. Awesome. We're going to let that go. We'll probably check in about 40 minutes or so, but it'll probably take around 50 to get that cooking. But we'll be back shortly. And in the meantime, what we'll do is we'll go in and we're going to go make a dipping sauce that's out of this. So folks, what we're doing now is working on our dipping sauce for this. And what we've got in this particular bowl is a half a cup of mayonnaise and 2 teaspoons of ketchup. So a half a cup of mayonnaise and 2 teaspoons of ketchup. Then what I've got here is some prepared horseradish. Not sauce, but horseradish. Prepared horseradish. So, well, it's going to do 2 tablespoons some stout stuff of the horseradish. So that's there. All right. So, kind of get this mixed in a little bit, and then Again, we're just kind of tying everything together. We've got those onion blossoms out there on the Mini Max, getting a nice, good smoke put to them, and as they're sitting on that maple plank. And so now what we're going to do is all those seasonings we used, like the oregano, for example. A little bit of oregano, you know, not too terribly much. I think this is the cayenne.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got, I mean, just like a pinch, but I've got a little measuring spoon that's just, I'm just kind of doing a pinch of almost everything that we put in that rub, except for the breadcrumbs. We're not going to do the breadcrumbs. There. Let's see. Find that. Okay.
And I could do it right in front of you.
That's the ketchup.
No.
No.
Seasoned salt.
Oh, that's
Garlic
over
powder.
here. This
No.
right here. Garlic powder.
Seasoned salt in front of the garlic powder. I'll put it
Okay.
there.
All right. There. Okay. Actually, we're going to mix this up. So we're going to mix this up. We're going to chill it, put it in the refrigerator, and it will be good to go when we're ready to pull those onion blossoms out of the smoker. And it'll be nice and cool with a little bit of a kick dipping sauce for those awesome smoked bloomin' onions. Sweet. All right, folks, we'll be back in a little bit to pull those off of the edge. So, folks, what we're going to do is we're going to take and look after it's been about 45 minutes. So we're going to take and peek, have my daughter look at these onions, see what she thinks. Are they?
Yeah.
All right, I think they'll be done then. Yeah. So what we're going to do, we've got this little holder. I got gloves on right now to pull this wood off, this wood plank. And you can see one of them onions that my daughter cut probably looks really good. The other one we went ahead and tied up a little bit, actually.
Because you cut it.
With some twine, yeah, because I cut it. All right, so let's close this up. And great thing is I got this little holder, and you can actually cook with your planks in a holder like that, which is kind of neat. But I didn't, because the handles, it won't fit in the Mini Max. But now what we can do is we can take and get our dipping sauce, go inside and get our dipping sauce ready, cut that twine on that one, set this in the middle of the island, and we can, man, it smells so good. That maple plank smells amazing. And we'll do a little bit of a taste test and see how we did. So we'll be inside and give it a go. Folks, we've got this inside. Got a piece of this onion blossom and a little bit of dipping sauce. Wow. Man, that is amazing. You guys have got to try. Woo, that is still hot. My goodness. Use a little bit of a knife down here. Pulls right off. Wow, this is so good. Smoky flavor. That maple comes through a little bit. That dipping sauce. This is awesome. You can serve it right on that plank to your guests when you have them coming over. It's super simple, super easy. Put it in the egg, forget about it for about 45-50 minutes, and it comes out just absolutely wonderful. Give it a try. Be sure and like, subscribe to our YouTube. Check us out on Facebook. And remember, if you're looking, you ain't cooking.